everybody, I'm Hope, and I blog over at Teach with Hope. And if you don't know who I am a new to first grade teacher after being in third grade for several years. And on all my social media platforms and my blog, it's just my goal to be really real with you guys and bring teachers together, lift one another up, inspire one another, and just be hopeful in all that we do in the classroom. And so, I just think about how hard our job can be, and I have those days. I know we all have those days where we just feel like we have no idea what we're doing, nothing is going right. And then we have those days where we don't know why we ever doubted ourselves and everything is just going perfectly. And so when we're having those perfect days, that means it's our job to inspire others and lift one another up and find ways to help one another find the hope in what we do. And so that is just my overall goal in everything that I do and everything that I share with all of you. So today I'm going to talk to you about end of the day procedures and routines in the classroom and helping to zen the end of your day. There was a time where I would just dread the end of the day. I would leave feeling each day like I wasn't the teacher that I really wanted to be. The rest of our day could have gone amazing, but if the end of our day didn't go well and I was kind of feeling grouchy and stressed and I couldn't get it all done, it would just kind of leave me feeling really kind of awful at the end of the day. So I, went home and did some brainstorming and made some changes a few years ago, and it really made all of the difference in the world. So if you are struggling to put together some end of the day routines that work, I hope that you can find a couple here. And if you have any extra tips too, always feel free to comment and share them with all of us as well. So I'm just going to run through them really quickly, and I hope that, like I said, you guys find something that you can use. So the first thing that I do is at the very end of the day when our classroom, has gotten pretty messy, we've been, learning all day and haven't been able to put everything back where it goes. And, it just looks like kids live here, like it should look, right? I want us to be able to start the next day of our learning just with a clean slate, a space where, we can make it messy again. And so we all work together and we play a game called Magic Scrap. And we do this every single day, all year long, and it never gets old. And you might have heard of a version of Magic Scrap somewhere else, but this is what I do. So at the end of the day, it's getting close and the kids know it's getting close, and I just say, I have a magic scrap in mind, and they know it is time to just frantically clean everything. And so the magic scrap can be anything in the classroom. It doesn't have to be a scrap, and they know that. It can be, a glue stick with the lid off. It can be a chair that's out of place. It can be goldfish crackers that have been squished into the floor. Whatever it is, and they know to just clean up everything as quickly as they possibly can. And it takes about 2 to 3 minutes. It doesn't take a long time at all because they're cleaning so quickly and so frantically. Because at the end of Magic Scrap, I announce who found it because I'm kind of watching the whole time inconspicuously. And then they get a treat at the end of the day. So everybody wants to find it. And so at the end, once, not just once the magic scrap has been found, but once our whole classroom is completely clean and kind of in a way that we're ready to start our day, and I feel satisfied with that, that's when I say the magic scrap has been found. And at that point, the kids know that they have 5 seconds to be in their seats, and I tell them that if they're not in their seats after that 5 seconds, then they can't win the magic scrap. I don't know if I would hold true to that, but I've never had to because they're always all in their seats at the end of that 5 seconds. So after that 5 seconds, their heads are down and they're in their seats. And I, and just different voices will say the student's name. So I would say, "Oh, Florencia," and then they would all repeat. And then I would say, "You found the magic scrap." And we'll do it in an opera voice or a little mousy voice or a big deep voice or whatever, just to keep it fun. And so at that point, the classroom is clean and every kid is in their seat, right? And we've already had a little bit of fun. So then the second thing is, it's the end of the day. Kids have been sitting still for a good portion of the day, and expecting them to sit still for 5 to 10 minutes longer and do nothing is just, I think, a really unrealistic expectation. So I have a student pass out just a half sheet of blank paper. And if kids would like to, they can just doodle, or earlier in the year, we've learned how to do Zentangle. They can draw a picture of their choice. And I tell them, you're not making a masterpiece, so you don't have to worry about that, but you can take it home and make a masterpiece. But just for 5 to 10 minutes while they're waiting to pack up or waiting for others to pack up, they have something to do and something to keep them busy. And most kids choose to do their little mini art piece. Some kids choose to just put their heads down and relax at the end of the day, which is totally fine. Some kids choose to take out a book and read at the end of the day. So whatever it is, it just needs to be something that keeps them busy. So I choose to have them work on that little half sheet of art. And so while they are working on their half sheet of art, here's the third piece, is this is where routines come in. So if you don't have routines built into your end of the day procedures, you need to do that. So it can't just be a list or a chart of things that you want them to do at the end of the day. You actually need to go through it with them and have them practice the routines and think about every little detail. I think it was Teach Outside the Box, and she was just talking about, procedures in general and talking about how you need to assume that kids come in knowing nothing. Like you need to start from the bare bones of everything. And so when I'm going to talk about the procedures that I have worked on with my kids, I'm going to really kind of let you know just like the tiniest minute details. Okay. So all of the kids are working on something, and I have a table excuser go around and they just do a double knock on one table at a time. So that one table is excused, and in our classroom we have an art path, and it's just around the perimeter of the classroom here. And so they all know they have to follow the art path and go around all of the tables and the desks. They can't weave in and out, right? So they go around the art path, and as they're going around the art path, they stop at the coats. And I'm just going to kind of flip the camera really quick and just show you guys kind of where our coats are kept. Right there, all of those drawers, right? So they stop right there at those drawers, and they pack up, they get their backpack and they get their coat, okay? And so then when they leave those drawers, sorry, I hope I'm not making you guys dizzy here. So when they leave those drawers and they get their backpack and they get their coats, they move over to the cubbies. And this is kind of where those little tiny details come in. So I talked to them about how when you go to those cubbies to pack up, you do not stand there and put all of your things into your backpack, because that's going to cause a traffic jam and take a really long time for kids to pack up over there. So they know they get their coat, they get their backpack, they pull their things out of their cubby, and then they go back to their desk, okay? And they pack up there, and that saves so much time. So the person who is the table excuser, they have been, they've all been trained to do this, but they have a really important job, and they have to watch really carefully to make sure that at no point there's a traffic jam. So when I showed you over by those drawers where the coats and backpacks go, once there are no kids over there from the first table, they're free to excuse the next table. And then, once that next table is moved over to the cubbies, then they can excuse the third table and so on. So, kids are packing up in a really orderly way that's not, causing any chaos, and they're getting back to their desk. So once they get back to their desk, they put everything into their backpack, set their backpack aside, and then they can start their art piece, okay? So 3 things so far: magic scrap, something to do while they're waiting, so whether that's an art piece or whatever else you decide. And then the third thing is building in those routines and letting them know, after you're done packing up, what are you expected to do? Work on that art piece or whatever it is you need to do while you're waiting, okay? And then the last piece that I have for you is making it fun. So while all of this is going on, so right after magic scrap, I don't always add this piece because I don't want it to lose its, its excitement. But kids always ask, like, are we going to do a challenge today? Are we going to do a challenge? So they're excited about it. So a couple of days a week, I will add in a challenge just to keep things fun and exciting. And those challenges can be really simple. So one of the challenges that I always start with is just boys versus girls. So who can pack up the fastest and the quietest? And just so you know, it's always the quietest. Like I just always add that piece in there. Who can pack up the fastest, the quietest, and safely. And so boys versus girls. And they, are all like kind of giving, like the girls are giving each other the silent signal, like be quiet, and the boys are helping one another pack up. Because at the end of the day, I announce who was the winner of the challenge. And then they get some sort of reward. And so that reward doesn't have to be a treat. Sometimes I'll do like the little erasers that you get in the dollar spot at Target that are like 60 that come in a pack for $1. Sometimes it'll just be like the next day when we go to recess, the team that won gets to leave the line first to go to recess. Something super simple. So I have a little printout of the challenges here. And like I said, the boys versus girls one is like the most simple. I'm just going to read some of the ones that are on the back here. So they're just pretty funny. And the kids kind of, giggle. But like I said, I always just make sure that I talk about how it needs to be quiet and safe. So crisscross, cross your arms and keep them that way until you or the whole team are completely packed up. So they have to keep, their arms crossed while they're getting their backpack, getting all their stuff out of their cubby. And, I watch super carefully to see who's keeping their arms crossed the whole time, and I'll pick like the winning team at the end. So it's, just a lot of fun. Like table champions, if you have table points in your classroom, which group or table can pack up the quickest and quietest. Work it out. No walking in this challenge. Lunge everywhere you go, even to line up. So just incorporating some movement at the end of the day when they need to wiggle. Kids love this one. Do your best zombie impression while packing up. So you can let them make zombie sounds, or you can say like you have to be a silent zombie or whatever you want. This one's kind of creepy. Smile-a-thon. So keep your smile on and smile the whole entire time at everyone and everything. So you can watch for like one kid who's like got the greatest smile the whole entire time, or you can make it like a whole group of kids. So these are the ones that I'm reading to you on the back right now. So I think there are 18 different challenges on here. So buddy lock, this is a fun one. So lock arms with one buddy at your table and pack up together. Remember to be the quietest pair to win this challenge. So there's just all different ones on here that you guys can download this as a freebie and just make the end of the day fun, add a challenge that's motivating to kids to keep them on track, keep them quiet, keep them busy, so that you can get done all of the things that you need to get done and leave feeling like a great teacher, leave feeling like the teacher that you are and that you always want to be. Not, don't be me and be that grouchy teacher at the end of the day that, I used to know. I haven't seen her in a long time at the end of the day, which feels really great. And then kids are leaving with a smile on their face and they're excited to come back the next day. So these are just 4 super simple tips and tricks that you can do to kind of zen the end of your day and make it one of your favorite times of day. So I hope you guys got some ideas here. And if you have anything that you do that you'd like to add to this list, please comment below, because we would all love to get more ideas about how we can, get inspired. So thank you all for tuning in.